Sure. Here's a story titled The Great Council of the Jungle, Tales of Fierce Lions, Clever Monkeys, and the Brave Elephant Who Saved Their World. In the heart of a vast, green jungle, where sunlight danced through the leaves and rivers sang their endless songs, the animals lived in harmony, or at least, they tried to. Each species had its own way of living, its own rules, and its own strengths. The lions, fierce and proud, ruled the open plains with their mighty roars and sharp claws. The monkeys, clever and quick, swung from branch to branch, solving puzzles and crafting clever plans. But deep in the jungle, a shadow loomed. A drought had come, drying the rivers and wilting the trees. Food was scarce, and tensions grew. One day, the leaders of the jungle called for a great council, a gathering of all animals to find a solution. The lions came with their courage and strength, the monkeys with their wit and agility, and among them was a gentle, brave elephant named Nala. Nala was known not for roaring or clever tricks but for her wisdom and kindness. As the council began, voices clashed, lions demanded their territory, monkeys insisted on gathering the last fruits, and other animals argued over water. Then, Nala stood tall and spoke in a calm voice. "We must think beyond ourselves. If we fight, all will suffer, but if we work together, we can save our jungle." She suggested building a great canal from the distant river to their drying lands, using the strength of the lions to dig, the cleverness of the monkeys to plan the path, and the endurance of the elephants to carry heavy logs and rocks. At first, the lions doubted such a plan. The monkeys were skeptical about the hard work, but Nala's calm bravery inspired them. Slowly, the animals united. Days turned to weeks. The jungle buzzed with teamwork. Lions dug trenches, monkeys designed water channels, and elephants hauled materials. Nala led with patience, reminding everyone of the future they were building. Finally, water flowed through the new canal, watering trees, filling ponds, and reviving the jungle's heart. The animals rejoiced, their homes saved by unity and courage. From that day on, the Great Council became a tradition. Lions, monkeys, elephants, and all others knew that together, they were stronger than any challenge. And in the heart of the jungle, Nala the brave elephant remained a symbol of hope, proof that true strength lies in kindness, wisdom, and working as one. Want me to expand or add dialogue? Sure. Here's the next part of the Great Council of the Jungle, Tales of Fierce Lions, Clever Monkeys, and the Brave Elephant Who Saved Their World. After the water returned and the jungle thrived again, the animals began to feel a new sense of respect for one another. But peace, as always, was fragile. One morning, a dark cloud covered the sky, and a strange roar echoed through the trees, not the familiar roar of lions, but a deep rumble that shook the ground. The animals gathered once again, worried and unsure. Nala, the brave elephant, raised her trunk and called for calm. "Let us find out what this roar means before we act," she said wisely. The clever monkeys climbed high into the tallest trees to scout the source. They returned with news. A new group of animals was approaching, humans, with machines that could cut down the forest and capture animals. Fear rippled through the jungle. The lions roared in anger, ready to defend their territory with claws and teeth. The monkeys began planning sneaky traps to scare the humans away. But Nala knew that fighting machines with strength or tricks alone would not be enough. "We must be brave and smart," Nala said, "but we also need a plan that protects all of us and the jungle itself." She proposed a new great council, this time with a mission to protect their home together, using not just strength or cleverness, but also courage and unity. The lions agreed to stand guard and keep watch. The monkeys used their cleverness to study the humans and learn their ways. The elephants, strong and steady, began creating safe paths for the smaller animals to hide if needed. Days passed, and the humans came closer, but they found an unexpected resistance. The jungle seemed alive with warning signs, branches snapped loudly, animals disappeared before they could be caught, and mysterious noises kept them wary. But the humans also saw something strange. The animals were not just hiding or running. They worked together, moving like one great force that protected the jungle itself. One day, Nala stood at the edge of the forest and faced the human leader. With a deep, calm voice, she made a plea. "This jungle is our home," she said. "We do not want to fight, but we will protect what we love. If you come with respect, we will welcome you as friends." If you come to harm, we will stand united. The human leader, surprised by the courage and intelligence of the animals, paused. After a long silence, he nodded. From that day, the humans promised to care for the jungle. Learning from the animals' wisdom and bravery, the Great Council grew stronger, now including friends who once were strangers. And the jungle, full of fierce lions, clever monkeys, and brave elephants, became a place where all lived with respect, protecting their world together. Want me to continue with another part? Here's the next chapter in the Great Council of the Jungle story. As seasons passed, the jungle grew even more vibrant. The animals and humans learned to live side by side, sharing knowledge and helping one another. The lions kept watch over the open lands, the monkeys helped humans find the ripest fruits, and the elephants carried heavy loads to build shelters and clear paths. But peace was tested again when a strange illness began to spread through the jungle. It started with a few monkeys who fell sick and soon spread to other animals. The Great Council was called once more, and worry filled the air. The lions roared anxiously, the monkeys chattered nervously, and even the usually calm Nala felt a heavy weight on her heart. We must find the cause and a cure, she said firmly. No one is safe unless we work together. This time, the humans brought their healers and medicines. The clever monkeys used their quick minds to help gather rare herbs, and the elephants carefully carried the sick to safe places. Nala led expeditions deep into the jungle to find the source of the illness. They discovered a hidden swamp, polluted by leftover human waste that had seeped into the water supply. The sickness was born from this poison. Determined to save their home, all the animals and humans united again. The lions guarded the area to keep it clear. The monkeys cleaned and collected trash, and the elephants dug new waterways to flush out the poison. The humans, ashamed but grateful for the animals' help, promised to protect the jungle better and keep it clean. Slowly, the illness faded away. The jungle's heartbeat grew strong once more. The Great Council had proven that no matter the challenge, drought, danger, or disease, courage, wisdom, and unity could save their world. And so, the tale of the fierce lions, clever monkeys, and brave elephant who saved their jungle lived on, inspiring generations to come. Would you like me to write an ending or more adventures? Here's the next part continuing the Great Council of the Jungle. With the jungle healed and peace restored, the animals felt stronger and closer than ever. The Great Council became a time not only to solve problems but to celebrate their friendship and shared home. One bright morning, as the sun rose over the treetops, a new challenge arrived, not from outside, but from within. A young lion named Kazi, full of pride and strength, grew restless. Why should we share the jungle? He roared one day. The lions are the fiercest. We should rule all the land ourselves. His roar echoed through the jungle, stirring whispers among the animals. Some began to doubt if sharing was the right path after all. The monkeys whispered among themselves, worried. Even Nala felt a heavy weight settle in her heart. At the next Great Council, tension filled the air. Kazi stood proud, ready to claim the jungle for the lions alone. But Nala stepped forward with gentle strength. The jungle is big enough for all of us, she said softly. We are strongest when we protect each other, not when we fight among ourselves. The clever monkeys created a story to remind everyone of their shared history, how lions, monkeys, elephants, and many others had once fought for their survival, only to learn that unity was the greatest power. Kazi listened quietly, his pride softening. He looked around and saw not enemies but friends, animals who had stood by his side through every challenge. Slowly, he nodded. I was wrong, he admitted. We are better together. The council ended with laughter and cheers, and the jungle sang with renewed hope. From that day, the Great Council not only saved their world but taught every animal, fierce or gentle, big or small, that courage, cleverness, and kindness were the true rulers of the jungle. And so, the jungle thrived, forever guarded by the brave elephant, the fierce lions, the clever monkeys, and the spirit of friendship that bound them all. Want me to wrap it up with a closing message or a moral? Here's the final part and closing of the Great Council of the Jungle. Years passed, and the story of the Great Council became legend, told around campfires and whispered in the rustling leaves. The jungle was no longer just a place of survival, but a home filled with respect, friendship, and hope. Nala, now older and wiser, Watch the younger generations grow strong and kind. The lions learned to protect not with fear, but with honor. The monkeys used their cleverness to teach and solve problems, while the elephants carried the wisdom of the past deep in their hearts. One day, as the sun set in a blaze of orange and gold, Nala gathered all the animals beneath the tallest tree, the same tree where the very first great council had been held. "Remember this," she said, her voice steady but warm. "The strength of the jungle is not in one roar, one clever plan, or one mighty step. It is in the heart of every one of us, beating together as one." The animals nodded, their eyes shining with understanding. And so, the jungle's greatest secret was passed down through generations, that courage, cleverness, and kindness, when joined by unity, could protect their world forever. The Great Council was never just a meeting, it was the spirit of the jungle itself, alive in every fierce lion, every clever monkey, and every brave elephant who chose to stand together. And with that, the jungle thrived, a wild, beautiful world where every voice mattered, and every heart was strong. The end. Would you like me to create a poem or summary based on the story? Got it. Here's a fresh, longer story for you, a new adventure inspired by the jungle theme but with fresh characters and plot. The Lost Treasure of the Emerald Jungle. Deep within the Emerald Jungle, where the trees stretched higher than the clouds and the air shimmered with magic, lived a young and curious jaguar named Tycho. Tycho was no ordinary jaguar, he had a coat patterned like the night sky, speckled with tiny white spots that sparkled when the moonlight touched them. One day, while exploring an ancient ruin hidden beneath thick vines, Tycho discovered a crumbling map etched onto stone. The map spoke of a lost treasure, the heart of the jungle, a glowing gem said to hold the power to protect the entire jungle from harm. Excited, Tycho raced to gather his friends, Lila, the clever parrot with feathers as bright as the sunrise, and Rumo, the wise old turtle who knew the jungle's secrets like no other. Together, they decided to follow the map, hoping to find the heart of the jungle before it fell into the wrong paws. Their journey was filled with dangers, swift rivers that roared like thunder, dark caves crawling with glowing insects, and thick thorns that seemed to guard the jungle's mysteries. But Tycho's courage, Lila's sharp eyes, and Rumo's wisdom helped them overcome every obstacle. Along the way, they met new friends too, a playful family of otters who showed them secret paths through the water, and a mysterious jaguar spirit who whispered riddles that led them closer to the treasure. However, they were not the only ones seeking the heart. A sly and greedy python named Varka lurked in the shadows, plotting to steal the gem and use its power to rule the jungle. The final challenge came at the ancient Temple of Roots, where the heart was hidden deep beneath twisting roots and shimmering waterfalls. Tycho and his friends worked together to solve the temple's puzzles, aligning stones with moonlight, following musical notes played by the jungle wind, and trusting in their friendship. When Varka appeared to snatch the gem, Tycho stood tall and fearless. With the help of Lila's swift flight and Rumo's steady strength, they outsmarted the python, protecting the heart of the jungle. The gem's light spread throughout the forest, renewing life, healing wounds, and filling the jungle with magic. Tycho realized that the true treasure was not just the gem, but the friendships, courage, and trust they had built along the way. The Emerald Jungle thrived, guarded by the brave jaguar, the clever parrot, the wise turtle, and the spirit of adventure that lived in every corner. Want me to continue this story with more details, dialogues, or new chapters? Here's the next chapter of The Lost Treasure of the Emerald Jungle with more detail and dialogue. Chapter 2, The Whispering Vines. After their victory at the Temple of Roots, Tycho, Layla, and Rumo returned to their village to share the tale of their adventure. But the jungle was not yet done testing them. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and fireflies began to glow, a strange sound echoed through the trees, a soft whispering, almost like the vines themselves were speaking. "Do you hear that?" Lila asked, her bright eyes wide. "It's the whispering vines," Rumo said quietly. "They say the jungle is trying to warn us." Curious and cautious, the trio followed the soft murmurs deeper into the jungle. The vines around them swayed gently, parting to reveal a hidden path lined with glowing flowers. Tycho's paws moved silently over the soft moss as he led the way. Suddenly, the vines closed behind them, and the path vanished. "We're trapped," Layla squawked. But Rumo smiled gently. No, my friends, the jungle is testing us again, to see if we truly understand its heart. The vines shimmered and shifted, forming shapes that looked like memories, past adventures, moments of kindness, and lessons learned. Tycho watched as one scene showed the moment they first found the map, another the time they outsmarted Varka the python. The jungle wants us to remember, Tycho said, to remember why we protect it. A voice echoed softly, ancient and warm. Only those who listen with heart and act with courage may walk freely. With renewed understanding, Tycho stepped forward, speaking aloud. We promise to guard the jungle, respect its creatures, and protect its magic. The vines parted, opening a new path glowing brighter than before. As they stepped forward, a gentle breeze lifted Lila's feathers, and Rumo smiled, knowing their journey had only just begun. Want me to keep going? More adventure, mystery, or maybe a new character? Here's the next chapter continuing the lost treasure of the Emerald Jungle. Chapter 3, The Guardian of the Moonlit Lake. The glowing path led Tycho, Layla, and Rumo to a hidden clearing bathed in silver moonlight. In the center lay the moonlit lake, its waters shimmering like liquid stars. As they approached, the surface of the lake rippled, and a figure emerged, a majestic jaguar, but unlike any they had ever seen. Her fur gleamed pale blue, and her eyes sparkled like the night sky. I am Celera, guardian of the moonlit lake, she said in a voice soft as the breeze. You have shown courage and kindness to reach this place. Tycho bowed respectfully. We seek to protect the jungle and its magic. Will you help us? Celera nodded. The heart of the jungle you found is powerful, but its magic is fragile. There are forces that wish to use it for harm. She gestured to the lake, where images danced beneath the surface, shadows creeping through the jungle, the sly python Varka slithering with new allies, and strange machines tearing through trees. You must prepare. The jungle's fate depends on unity, strength, and wisdom. Lila flapped her wings excitedly. What can we do, Guardian Celera? You must unite the tribes of the jungle, not just the animals, but the spirits who watch over it, Celera explained. Only together can you stop the darkness that threatens your home. Rumo nodded thoughtfully. Then our journey continues. Celera smiled. Follow the light of the stars. They will guide you to the Spirit Council, where the jungle's greatest protectors await. As the moonlight bathed them, Tycho felt a new fire ignite within, a call to adventure deeper than ever before. With Celera's blessing, the friends prepared to face the challenges ahead, knowing their greatest test was yet to come. Want me to continue the story with the Spirit Council and their quest? Here's the next chapter of the lost treasure of the Emerald Jungle. Chapter 4, The Spirit Council. Guided by the shimmering stars above, Tycho, Layla, and Rumo traveled through the dense jungle night. The air was thick with mystery and magic as glowing fireflies lit their path. After hours of walking, they reached a sacred clearing where ancient trees stood tall, their branches entwined like the arms of old friends. At the center of the clearing sat a circle of shimmering figures, the Spirit Council. There was Mara, the wise eagle spirit whose eyes saw across the skies, Django, the fierce tiger spirit who roared with the strength of thunder, and Nyla, the gentle deer spirit who moved with the grace of the wind. Welcome, brave ones, Mara's voice echoed softly. We have watched your journey and know the dangers ahead. Django's deep growl rumbled like distant storms. Varka the python has gathered darkness and spreads fear. If left unchecked, the jungle will fall. Nyla stepped forward, her voice like a calm river. But you hold the heart of the jungle, a beacon of hope. It is up to you to unite the creatures and spirits to save our home. Tycho looked at his friends, determination shining in his eyes. We will do whatever it takes. The Spirit Council nodded in agreement. Then you must find the 3 keys, ancient artifacts hidden across the jungle that will unlock the true power of the heart. Lila flapped her wings eagerly. Where do we start? Mara pointed her wing toward the tallest mountain, cloaked in mist. The first key lies at the Peak of Echoes, but beware, it is guarded by the Storm Serpent. Rumo adjusted his shell thoughtfully. We will need all our courage and wisdom for this trial. As the spirits faded into the night mist, Tycho, Layla, and Rumo prepared to face their most dangerous adventure yet, climbing the mountain, confronting the Storm Serpent, and claiming the first key to save their jungle. Want me to continue with their mountain climb and encounter? Here's the next chapter continuing the lost treasure of the Emerald Jungle. Chapter 5, The Climb to the Peak of Echoes. The next morning, Tycho, Layla, and Rumo began their journey toward the towering mountain wrapped in swirling mist. The air grew cooler as they climbed, and the jungle below became a sea of green fading into the horizon. "This mountain feels alive," Layla whispered, her feathers ruffling in the crisp wind. "I hear the whispers of the wind carrying secrets." Rumo nodded. "The Spirit Council warned us, the Peak of Echoes tests not only strength but heart." As they climbed higher, dark clouds gathered, and the wind howled like a wild beast. Suddenly, a colossal serpent with scales glistening like lightning coiled itself around the rocky peak, the feared storm serpent. Its eyes flashed with fierce electricity as it hissed, "Who dares disturb my domain?" Tycho stepped forward bravely. "We come for the key to save our jungle." The serpent laughed, thunder booming with its voice. "Only those who prove their courage and wisdom may pass." The challenge began. The storm serpent breathed bolts of lightning, and the trio dodged and leapt. Working as one, Layla flew swiftly, distracting the serpent with dazzling maneuvers. Rumo used his sturdy shell to shield against the serpent's strikes, while Tycho used his speed and agility to find openings. Then came the serpent's final test, a riddle wrapped in the echoes of the mountain. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Tycho closed his eyes, listening to the mountain's echoes. "An echo," he answered confidently. The serpent's fierce gaze softened. "You are wise. The key is yours." With a powerful swipe of its tail, the storm serpent revealed a glowing crystal shaped like a claw, the first key. Tycho held it high, feeling its warmth and power. "Only 2 keys remain," Layla said, excitement in her voice. "We must hurry." The storm cleared, and the mountain's silence returned. Together, they began their descent, ready for the next part of their quest. Want me to continue with the next key adventure? Here's the next chapter continuing the lost treasure of the Emerald Jungle. Chapter 6, The Secret of the Whispering Caves. With the first key safely tucked away, Tycho, Layla, and Rumo set off toward their next destination, the Whispering Caves. Hidden deep beneath the jungle floor, the Spirit Council had told them the second key lay within those mysterious tunnels. As they entered the caves, a cool dampness surrounded them. The walls shimmered with crystals that reflected soft light, and faint whispers seemed to echo from every corner. Layla's feathers bristled. "These whispers, they sound like voices." Rumo nodded. "The caves are alive with ancient spirits. We must listen carefully." Suddenly, the whispers grew louder, forming words in the air. "To find the path, you must solve the riddle of the voices," the spirits seemed to say. Tycho looked at his friends. "We have to trust each other and the voices." The first voice whispered, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Layla thought hard and chirped, "Fire." The path ahead glowed warmly, revealing a tunnel lined with glowing mushrooms. Further inside, another voice asked, "I am always hungry. I must always be fed. The finger I touch will soon turn red. What am I?" Rumo smiled. "That's fire again. It eats fuel and burns." The cave brightened even more, guiding them toward a chamber where the second key floated above a pedestal, a crystal shaped like a leaf. As Tycho reached for it, a shadow moved, a giant bat, protector of the cave. The bat's eyes gleamed, but seeing their respect for the jungle, it stepped aside, allowing them to take the key. Holding both keys now, the friends felt the jungle's magic growing stronger. "We're closer," Tycho said, determination in his voice. "Only 1 key left." Want me to continue with the final key and the ultimate showdown? Here's the next chapter continuing the lost treasure of the Emerald Jungle. Chapter 7, The Final Key and the Heart's True Power. With 2 keys in their possession, Tycho, Layla, and Rumo ventured toward the last destination, the ancient ruins of the sun, where the final key was said to rest beneath golden stones bathed in sunlight. The journey was long and arduous. Thick vines blocked their path, and strange shadows flickered at the edge of the trees. The air buzzed with anticipation and danger. At last, they reached the ruins, glowing warmly in the afternoon sun. As they entered, A golden light pulsed from the heart of the ruins, illuminating a stone altar where the final key floated, a brilliant crystal shaped like a sunburst. Suddenly, Varka the python appeared, larger and more menacing than before, surrounded by his dark allies. "You will not leave with the keys," hissed Varka. "The power of the heart will be mine." Tycho stood firm. "The jungle belongs to all of us. Varka, your greed will never win." The battle began. Varka's coils whipped through the air, but Tycho dodged with nimble leaps. Lila flew swiftly, distracting the dark creatures with dazzling dives, while Rumo used his sturdy shell to protect his friends. As the fight raged, the three friends combined the power of the keys, creating a brilliant light that pushed back the darkness. Varka hissed in defeat and slithered away, disappearing into the shadows. With the enemies gone, Tycho placed the three keys into the heart of the jungle, the glowing gem they had found at the start. The heart pulsed brighter than ever, sending waves of healing and magic throughout the jungle. Trees stood taller, rivers ran clearer, and the animals felt a deep peace. Nala's voice echoed in their hearts. "Courage, cleverness, kindness, and unity are the greatest power of all." Tycho smiled, knowing their adventure had not only saved their home but brought everyone closer together. The jungle thrived, guarded by the brave jaguar, the clever parrot, the wise turtle, and the spirit of friendship and courage that would live forever. The end. Would you like me to create a summary, poem, or spin-off story next?